Now, we will start now giving the degrees, but before I do that, we also have a tradition in the Jackson School. It's a relatively new tradition, but each year we invite one of our former students who has been out in the real world and has done extraordinarily interesting things, and we ask them to come and speak to our students, talk about their experiences, and hopefully have those people serve as a source of inspiration for graduating class. This year's distinguished speaker is Shannon Ansbaugh. Now, Shannon is graduated from the Jackson School in 1994 with a BA in International Studies with a focus on Latin America. Since that time, she has had a very successful career, first in Microsoft, then with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where she is now a senior business analyst. So I am very pleased that Shannon was able to come and be with us this evening, and I'm very pleased to invite her to the stage and listen to her comments.
Good evening. Congratulations, class of 2015, on reaching this amazing milestone. What an accomplishment. This is just the first of many accomplishments that will come in your future. Your hard work and your perseverance have paid off. Thank you for this incredible honor to speak to you all today. I was humbled to be asked to come. You have earned this prestigious degree from the Henry M. Jackson School of International Studies, University of Washington. This is a degree that is recognized for the intensive work that goes into it. You chose this degree for a reason, because you have an interest and a passion in international affairs and the world at large. Things like task force class, they really prepare you for real-world experiences where you have to collaborate with others in a group. You have to have strong communication skills and analytical skills. When I thought about, and first of all, in my experience, people recognize this degree and they hold it in high regard. I found this to be true both at Microsoft and at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. When I thought about what advice or words of wisdom I could offer you, I thought about what advice would I share with my younger self. Why not learn these lessons now? These are things that took me 20 years to learn. The first life lesson is to be bold. And the second is to find joy. And the third is to have a guide. The first life lesson, to be bold. What could you do if you weren't afraid? Sometimes fear holds us back from reaching our full potential. Feel the fear and just go for it anyway. Over the years I look back and I struggled with fear. I remember taking on new things, new experiences, bigger challenges. There were fears around failure. But sometimes you can't let fear hold you back. And sometimes you have to do the thing that really scares you, that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, because that is where the true growth comes from. The antidote to fear is to be bold and to be curious. That offsets the fear that you will naturally feel. Little steps and actions can lead to really big things. I'll share a few personal experiences of my own. I have always had a love for the Spanish language. I think back to high school, and I took Spanish throughout the years. I also took Spanish at the university. And it seemed to come pretty naturally. I liked it a lot. I got A's. And I had a dream to do an exchange program. And so when I talked to a friend, Chris, and she and I decided that we were going to go on an exchange program together. And so we chose the Dominican Republic. Now, it's kind of funny because at this point in my life, I hadn't even been outside of the United States, so this seemed pretty exotic. And we picked the Dominican Republic. I call it the path less traveled, because we knew nothing about it. We just knew really that it was in the Caribbean and it shared an island with Haiti. And so we thought, let's try it, it sounds different. Well, I first got down there and I remember being super excited, seeing just all the way it was so different than here in the United States. And I quickly discovered that my reading and writing of Spanish were much better than my conversational skills. And I remember getting down there and meeting my host family and just looking at each other and nodding and realizing that I couldn't understand them. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is a complete disaster. Because I'm going to be here 4 months and I need to go to school and I'm having a really hard time understanding everything. So I went back to my bedroom that night and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to start memorizing some words and really getting a better handle on the situation. So I looked up the word, I thought, I don't even know the word for fork, so I looked it up and I'm like, tenedor, okay, memorize that. And I just started trying to speak Spanish, get more and more comfortable with it. And then something happened. After about a month, there was sort of this magic that happened. I started to understand the conversations that were going on around me, and I really started to develop this amazing connection with my host family and with the people that I met down there. And so it was really an amazing experience because I saw that the Dominicans had such a zest for life. I realized that the formula was that I had gone after a dream. There were some ups and downs and I felt the fear, but by having action and just keeping at it, I got through it. And that is really where the true growth came in. And this was a pivotal experience in my personal and my professional life. Because when I came back here to Seattle, I decided that I really wanted to work with Latin America. So I started looking at international businesses that did work with Latin America. And so I found an entry-level position in logistics. And over the couple of years, I then got to handle the Microsoft freight going to Latin America, which then opened a door for me to go work in the Latin America operations department at Microsoft. And so again, this was a big leap of faith because I got there and I thought, wow, this is exciting, I'm at Microsoft. But then I started to realize I don't have a lot of IT experience. And so I kind of had to just go for it. Needless to say, I'm going to age myself a little bit here. When I was at the university, I didn't even have an email address. So that obviously was a long time ago. And I remember writing up my papers on this big word processor that by today's standards was a complete dinosaur. But needless to say, I had a real passion to learn, and there were a lot of people that helped me along the way. And so eventually I moved into different positions. I took on different roles. One in particular, I was asked to be the business lead of a big IT project, basically to convert an export compliance system to a new system. And again, I felt intimidated at first, but I decided to go for it anyway. And there were definitely ups and downs, but in all, it was a successful project. And after having the spotlight on me, which was a little uncomfortable, when the project succeeded, after about a year of hard work, I definitely felt that I had gained the credibility of senior management because the project went successfully and it was delivered at a high quality level. And so not only did I gain the credibility of senior management, but more importantly with myself. So that was a big thing because I now knew what I was capable of. So again, the lesson here is to feel the fear, do it anyway, just go for it, and kind of give yourself a pep talk and take action when you need to, and you can get help along the way. You just never know where these experiences will take you. Little things can lead to big opportunities, and you just really have to stay open to all the possibilities. The second life lesson was to find joy through passion and purpose. There will definitely be setbacks in your lives, and you will get knocked down and you'll have to get back up. But ironically, the setbacks will make you stronger, and they will provide some of life's best teachings. My setback was personal. So when I was 14, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I went through a year of really intensive cancer treatments. I felt, after I had been through that experience, I felt really lucky to be alive. Now, I would not wish cancer on anyone, ever, but the silver lining of that was that I grew stronger through the adversity. And I learned to live my life with more passion and purpose than ever. And one of my greatest life fears was that someday cancer would come back. And unfortunately, when I was 32 and I was working at Microsoft, it did come back, this time breast cancer. So again, I had to go through a year of treatment, and it left me kind of exhausted, and I had to shift my focus from work to my health and recovery. And then once I got through that, there was another setback, this time my heart. And so again, it was some complications from the childhood radiation. And so I joked with my friends that I was a cat that had 9 lives, and that I was on like my 5th life, so I needed to make it count. I really did a lot of soul searching at this point, and I thought about, what is my purpose in life? I believed that I had survived for a reason. What did I want my personal legacy to be? I knew that I wanted to live my life to the fullest. Some of the greatest joys in life are having a sense of purpose, and it's essential for our well-being and satisfaction. And happiness is when what you say, you do, and you think are all in harmony. And I came back more determined than ever to live my life with passion. So that is when I started my own personal bucket list. Now, you don't have to go through a health crisis to have a bucket list. I think everyone should have one, because this is really an opportunity for you to dream dreams and put it down on paper and to just go after it. So my husband Jeff and I have managed to do some amazing things. We've really gotten off the beaten path. Took an African safari, and we saw the Maasai culture. We witnessed amazing wildlife scenes in the Serengeti. And at one point we hiked deep within the Bwindi impenetrable forest, and we were out in the open, and I remember getting a tap on the shoulder, and it was a juvenile mountain gorilla. It was pretty shocking. And then I was deeply moved by the genocide memorial in Rwanda, the personal stories of our guide, Paul. He had lost half of his family in the war. And these stories of survival and the strength of the human spirit, the power of forgiveness, it just really made a lasting impression on me. And then this last year we went to Myanmar. We wanted to see what the country was like before it started to change with some of the tourism. In each trip, we really focused on having an authentic experience, just one-on-one, my husband and I, and a guide. And finally, I decided to make the career change. I had been at Microsoft for about 16 and a half years and had done a lot of different jobs over that time. And I decided to go work for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation because I really wanted to do something to give back. I followed my passion and purpose to help others, which brings me to my 3rd life lesson, and that is to have a guide. You want to have a guide and then be a guide for someone else. What do I mean by this? Think about the people who have guided you throughout your lives to this point in time. Your family, your friends, your favorite teachers. Look around the room, I bet they're here today. Build a network of people to help you grow. I think of this as your personal council of supporters. Look for people who have the skills that you admire. Be bold, ask if they'll mentor you. Who do you know that you can network with? What organizations can help you? Locally, there's a lot of great organizations like World Affairs Council, Global Washington, and Global Citizen. And then, return the favor for someone else. Be a guide for someone else. So in closing, be bold, find your reach your full potential, find joy so that you can follow your passion and align with your life's purpose. And 3, to have a guide, and then be a guide. There's a lot of suffering in this world, and I know for one, I'm lucky to be alive, because if I'd grown up in other parts of the world, I would not be here today. To whom much is given, much is expected, so I feel a moral obligation to give back. As Gandhi so wisely said, you must be the change that you wish to see in the world. And you are some of the best and the brightest, and you offer these new, fresh ideas to solve complex world issues. Think about the causes that you care about and get involved. There's some great things going on right now, like Global Citizen, something that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is supporting around helping fighting world poverty. Work with your personal network. There is an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think that just really sums it all up. Give back to others. As Gandhi says, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And most importantly, have fun. This is it. This is your life. And there is no dress rehearsal. Thank you.